Hi, this is Toru Furui. This lecture was made in July 23rd in the morning. In the United States nowadays, physical therapy is provided by the doctors in physical therapy, recognized by the physical therapy users and other professionals as the professional practitioners who provided the direct consultation to evaluate impairments, activity limitations, participation restrictions, and environmental barriers that affect the people's function and activities and health itself. During the morning class, we will trace the historical background and the creation of the rehabilitation in Japan. An afternoon and practice of the root therapy followed. It is impossible to talk about the history of rehabilitation in the United States without relating war. The techniques of the military medicine during the World War I, 1914 and 1918, used to the treatment of the disabled veterans might be the foundation of the physical or occupational therapy. In 1940, Reed College of Portland, Oregon, began teaching the reconstruction aids, which later became the physical therapist or occupational therapist. In 1921, the Women Physical Therapeutic Association, the present organization of the current APTA, was formed by only 274 women. At the time, the name PT had not yet been established. And also, Mary Macmillan was elected as the first president. Her name survived today as the Mary Macmillan Award, which was awarded by the APTA to excellent physical therapists. The following year of 1922, the first general meeting was held in New York City with the participation of the 63 reconstruction aids, and it was renamed American Physiotherapy Association, APA. At this time, male members were allowed to participate. So, 1 year, the organization was only the ladies. At the time, there was the epidemic of the polio in the United States, and the development of the quantitative evaluation method and treatment method to indicate the degree of the paralysis caused by polio was urgent issue. And R.W. Lovett and others published the manual muscle testing method in 1928. The original method was systemized as the Daniels manual muscle testing method, which is still widely used today. This method shows the degree of the freedom of the physical activity under the gravity. It can be said that it is very reasonable evaluation method that related to the quality of life and the quantity and quality of support and assistance. The method of applying the resistance is related to the muscle strengthening method. It can be said that it is deeply involved in the fundamental part of the physical and occupational therapy. This is why this method is still widely used today. The method of resistance is related to the muscle strengthening method, and also it can be said that it is deeply related to the fundamental part of the physical therapy and occupational therapy. Kendall, who developed the other muscle testing method, and also Signe Blomstrom, who is for the evaluation of the treatment of the synaptic movement patterns observed in spastic paralysis after stroke, were active at the same time. Other neurological physical therapies such as Bobas, Rood, were also active in the same period. From its inception, American Medical Association focused on establishing the university medical school and establishing the standards of the PT education. And in 1930, American Medical Association approved a standardized curriculum. The initial curriculum includes massage and therapeutic exercise, electrotherapy, and hydrotherapy, all of which were adapted to the treatment of the time, and the muscle strengthening and deformity correction method were added. This was partly due to the development of the various treatments for the polio pandemic. Howard Lusk, the father of comprehensive rehabilitation, has positioned the rehabilitation medicine as the third type of medicine. In particular, during the 1930s and 1940s, basic rehabilitation methods such as exercise therapy, range of motion testing, and manual muscle testing, which were important part of the physical therapy and occupational therapy, were established. The Japanese rehabilitation professionals began after 20 years from the end of the World War II. The birth of the physical therapist in Japan was in 1965, when the physical therapy and occupational therapy law 137 was enacted. Prior to the enacting this law, physiotherapy was practiced by the people who were licensed to quasi-medical practice, such as acupuncture, massage, and judo therapies. At the time, the main target patient was disabled soldiers, cerebral palsy, and polio infantile paralysis, and rheumatoid arthritis, and physiotherapy was practiced under the supervision of the orthopedic and physical medicine physicians. However, in light of the development of the rehabilitation medicine in Europe and the United States, the government recognized the necessity of the fostering the professionals through the formal education and came up with the necessary preparations. With the establishment of the Department of Health and Nursing and Faculty of Medicine in Tokyo, Okay, and in 1963, the government established the Rehabilitation Institute of Tokyo National Sanatorium under the jurisdiction of the Ministry of Health and Welfare. It had a 3 years course of vocational school for the physical therapy and occupational therapy, and inviting the professors from the United States. The birth of physical therapists in Japan was in 1965 when the Physical Therapist and Occupational Therapist Law was enacted. Following years, in 1966, it was next years, the first national examination for the physical and occupational therapies held. On July 17th of that year, I was the day of the physical therapy. The Japanese Physical Therapist Association was formed by the 110 volunteers out of the 143 who passed the national examination. In its early days, Japan Physical Therapist Association qualified the medical practitioners who had been engaged in the physical therapy to take the national examination based on the special measure if they had at least 5 years of practice experience and physical therapist as a physical therapist and had attended to the 300 hours training sessions. This measure ended to the 1974. Since then, the association was worked on to contribute to the various development of the organization for more than 103,000 members, and its value of the gradually have been recognized by the Japanese people with socially and academically, and had become one of the professions that played an important role of the field of health, medical care, and welfare. We are very grateful for all the support and cooperations, not only the physical therapists and occupational therapists who have been involved in the advancement of the physical and occupational therapy in Japan, but also all those concerned. Thank you. This slide was afternoon's practice slide. Motor cortex. It was the central nerve system of the moment. Motor cortex on the left, sensory cortex on right. And the central nerve system of the movement, reflex movement is important. Skeletal muscle, it was a body movement. It makes a body movement, and it important is in the stretch reflexing and superficial reflection, deep tendon jerk, and flexor reflex, splitting, and escape reflex, and nociceptive reflex. Inhibitory work was in reciprocal innervation of the extensor muscle. Concept of maintaining the body movement and daily activities. A sequence of the motor development in the infant. kinematic point of view toward independent living based on the philosophy of rehabilitation. Ontogenic developmental sequence and this picture and process by which the infant motor behavior develops and changes shape and form. Motor development sequence. The first step, withdrawal supine, total flexion as fetal position, and rollover, unilateral extension other side flexion. This it means easy to rolling over. And pivot prone, lie on the stomach and body axis extension. It was making the body axis. And co-contraction of the neck, simultaneous contraction of the neck muscles. On elbow, it was important, bilateral forearm support and simultaneous shoulder girdle contraction. All fours, crawling postures, body weight shifting front and back, and lie and left. Standing, get up from the floor and shift your weight. Walking, walking means in the heel contact, loading response, mid stand and toe off or something. Okay, withdrawal, roll over, pivot prone, co-contraction of the neck, on elbow, all four, crawling posture, body weight shifting front and back, right to left, and standing, get up from the floor and shift your weight. Walking, heel contact, loading response, mid stance, toe off. It was important to give a summary of the sequence. Thank you. Rood-Theory. It was kind of the it was pattern proximal to distal, cranial to caudal, and flexion to extension of the trunk and limb. Symmetry to asymmetry. Bilateral to unilateral. Unloaded to loaded. And gross motor to coordinated movement. And also Rood-Theory was stabilizer and mobilizer is different. Stabilizer, heavy work muscles, slow switch muscle fiber, a posture muscle, core contraction, muscle contraction response. The mobilizer, light work muscles, a group of muscles that move to the distal part, the stretch and reciprocal muscle activity, first twitch muscle fiber. Reflex movement, it was made from the external stimuli and independently of the will, involuntary, and reflex mechanisms of the body are unconsciously integrated and activate, and reflex movement occur. Thank you.